Yes. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. NovaCare is sending bad vibes in to the show. Is that right? Oh, okay. Hey, we're back. I got to get out. Holy cow. They are doing everything in their power. Everything in their power. Okay? Everything in their power to stop this bitch, but you can't. Big Sills is on a rampage now that will never end. I will never relent. I'm like an arm wrestling king. Bang, bang, bang. Son of a bees. Big Dom came after me. Brandon Graham. All the Jalenites. I know what's happened. The Jalenites came after me. Holy shit. Don't worry. Everyone, hit that like button. Big Dom / Suge Knight. Gonna show up at your house with cuffs. Bring it on, big boy. Bring it on. All right. Now, before I bring in the resident Philadelphia Eagle fan, by the way, Xander Krause is a true Eagle fan. And that's a good thing. You know why? That son of a bitch was born in Philly. Anybody not born in Philly goes, I'm an Eagle fan. You're like, okay, Princess Di. I mean, really? What are you, Taylor Swift? Yeah, I like the Eagles. Let's fucking go. All right. Hey, guys, I appreciate it, man. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Holy cow, man. I hate splitting it up, but don't worry. Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. Big Sills is here. So after Sunday, here's Xander Hurts. Here's Xander Krause's Xander Hurts. I like it. Oh, hold on here. I need you to gaslight Holmes for calling me a racist. You're not a racist, Twiz. You're just a dick. And I love you, man. Wait a minute. I love Twiz being a dick. I think I could say that on TV. I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing. Howie and the Hurt Vengers can't stop shit. All right, let's do this. The man who now believes that the passing woes are over with for the Philadelphia Eagles, the one and only, as we were in a, once again, I don't know, I've never been in more of a spirited debate in my life with anybody like this guy here, man. I usually kick the shit out of everybody. They run and hide under their desk. And here he is calling me Grinch Sills. Okay? Without further ado, our dear friend and the co-host of Birds 365, he is Xander Big Z Hurts. Here he is.
Oh, look, I got him behind me now. I got the Grinch behind me. The Grinch is behind me. And I think I was giving you I was beating the shit out of you in that debate. YouTube said, this is a body. We got to get this off of YouTube. So they canceled the show. And for anybody who's tuning into the segment now, make sure you go back and watch the beginning of our segment a second ago, because I was laying the hammer.
You know why everything he just said is a complete BG lie? I'll tell you exactly why. Because this guy's taken one game out of the entire 16 weeks and went, we're back. Oh, my God. We're going to jump. Oh, my God. The passing game is back. I knew it. This is exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles wanted you to know, because why they leaked that story. I will agree with him on one thing here, Xander Hurts. I will agree with Xander Hurts on this, okay? I will agree that the Eagles let this out because you know what they want you to believe? Exactly what he's pimping. And you know what that is? We could have been doing this the whole time. That's what the narrative is in here. That's what they want you to believe.
No. When you throw for 290, 25 at 32 against the Mike Tomlin defense, you're not the mailman anymore, Big Sills.
Well, what happened versus Carolina?
It's a different game, mate. A different game plan.
Oh, this is a different game plan.
What did you say in the start of your show? Who's the first coach in the NFL that figured out how to stop Saquon Barkley?
Mike Tomlin.
Okay. And what happened when you needed the mailman to step up and win?
Here he is. There it is right there. There's the new narrative. You believe that it's fixed in 1 week and that they could have done this the entire chance.
No, I believe we're nowhere near as one-dimensional as you made us out to be. We can clearly beat teams multiple ways.
So you pay guys $35 and $25 million a year to put them in the garage because why? I forget. So wait a minute. You didn't use your wideouts. You didn't pay you that Bryce Huff thing. I'll tell you what, money well spent this year. Hey, fuck the receivers. That's why AJ probably didn't complain last week. No, not him. But hey, you know what? AJ Owens didn't get in anybody's ass because he didn't get the touches. All of a sudden, he got the touches, and there we are again. I mean, like,
and look how good the team looked.
That's not the point. You're making it seem like they could have done this all year. Why would they?
No, they easily could have. I haven't seen anything to prove me otherwise.
Dude, this guy has been very average as a passer all year long.
Well, they haven't asked him to do much. The first game they asked him to win. The first game they needed him. Wait a second.
Has he been
you
average?
don't get to set that narrative because
what
you're
game
telling me
doesn't set a narrative.
Because you're telling me based on a 9-game win streak where Hurts never needed to throw the ball, we comfortably won 9 games in a row. The first game that we needed Hurts to throw, we won.
I would never in a billion years. Yeah, because they told him this is what we're doing. Just like the old
Lions had a loss in there.
They went to the coaching staff and said, let's get back to our identity. The identity is not the quarterback. It's running.
Okay, they have the best offensive line in football. Is that a dumb decision?
Wait a minute. That's not the point. The point is the players know what the identity is. The identity in Buffalo is the quarterback. The identity in Green Bay is the quarterback. The identity in Tampa is the quarterback, who, by the way, was named the NFC Player of the Week over Hurts. And the identity of all these teams, I didn't even mention Kansas City, is the quarterback. But the identity is the running game. You're right, in Philly. It's not the quarterback. It's the only dynamic.
It's a different setup of a team.
What?
What do you value more? Wait a second. I'm looking at, is Joe Burrow an elite quarterback?
Of course he is.
And I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. Maybe third, but second up there. His team stinks, okay? Is Lamar Jackson a top 3 quarterback in the NFL?
Yes.
Okay, they're 9-5. Okay, great. Josh Allen is probably the only exception right now. And how far has he gone? So all these elite quarterbacks, why do we care? I think we have gotten to a point. We care too much about an elite quarterback.
They don't have fucking great teams.
So what's more
players?
You care more about having an elite quarterback with a non-elite team.
Yes, I do, because elite quarterbacks win Super Bowls.
I'll take the elite team that's 46.
The elite quarterback beats you in 22, not the elite team.
And he also beat Josh Allen.
Dude. And he also turned around and beat an elite 49er team last year.
Okay, great. That's my point.
Elite quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Look it up.
I'm not saying you're wrong about that. I'm just saying I think having a great football team is underrated. This team wins. And because Jalen Hurts doesn't look exactly like what you're used to seeing or what other people are used to seeing or what Josh Allen looks like or what this guy looks like, it's like, oh, no, all the success that you have just doesn't matter. I don't buy that. I'm sorry. I just don't buy that bullshit.
You can base your theories off of one game and make an epiphany that you think he can do that on a weekly basis when he hasn't.
He doesn't have to.
And no, that's an opinion. That's not what happened this year.
No, it's not.
That's not what happened.
They're 10-0 because of the
That's
team.
not how he played this year.
I know that, and he doesn't have to play like that every week.
Your theory is that they could have done it anytime they wanted.
Well, no, I'm telling you.
What happened?
Okay, so he was able to do it versus Tomlin when he needed to. Does that not answer any question?
No, no.
When else in the year did he have to?
He had a great game against Tomlin and the Steelers. He's had numerous games where he was terrible in.
So when's it
game has carried him?
When does it cost us a game?
Listen, like I said, you're on a great roster right now, dude.
I'm a fan of the Eagles, Sills. I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts only. I'm a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. We have a great football team.
You're basing it off of 1 week with a theory and a hypothesis on what he may be able to do. I'm telling you what they've done this year. That's the reality where I'm coming from. My reality is not an opinion. My reality is not an opinion. Yours is an opinion.
Well, no, we're 12-2 this year, so they're clearly
No,
winning
no,
this
no.
year, right?
I was talking about the quarterback. Not you're combining the team. I'm talking about Hurts
Well,
in the
because I
passing
care
game.
more about the team than I care about
Okay,
a good
that's a
one
different
player.
conversation. I'm talking about Hurts in the passing game. You're talking about the team and combining it. I'm not talking about the team. I'm saying the passing game.
Okay, fine.
That's two different things.
I see what you're saying. Okay, but do you believe that we have the best defense in the NFL?
Now, are we changing the subject?
No, I'm asking. Let me get my point out. Do you believe our defense is the best in the NFL?
Yes.
Do you believe our running back is the best in the NFL?
Yes.
Does that not give you enough optimism about the team, not the player Jalen Hurts, that you don't need Josh Allen level performances to win games? So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying, okay, he's not going to do this every week, week in and week out. That's fine. We don't have to, because Howie has built a good enough team where we can be versatile in the way we win. I don't need a ride. The Bills, if Josh Allen has a bad game versus Buffalo, what's going to happen?
They're going to lose. They're
going to get blown off the fucking page because their defense sucks and their offense is really nothing without him.
Okay.
That's great. He's an
but
awesome
that didn't
player.
answer that in the Pittsburgh game.
I think the team supersedes what your point is about Jalen. That's my point.
You're taking the Pittsburgh game and kind of forgetting the entire way they got to 12-2. You got to you just said through defense and Barkley, but again, you're going to have consistency, not one game. Now, I have a topic actually. Here's actually the topic that I wrote down here.
Okay, wait. Before we get into that, can I show the people one thing, and you're going to be excited about it too? All jokes aside. Okay. So I met. Well, by the way, let me show Jason. I hope you don't mind me showing the pic of you and my boy. I want to show me and my boy Jason A-Team. We're out here today. I met up with our great and loyal listener, Jason A-Team, who won the Grinch hoodie in honor of the great Big Sills. And here it is. We were out there today. I met him. This was a couple hours ago. So
that's dope.
Yeah, and I gave him the hat too because he's a legend member. So I threw the hat in there. Big shout out to Jason A-Team. Appreciate you, bro.
Look at what Jay Glazer just said. So I pointed out there, I 1,000% believe NFL on Fox, Jay Glazer. Eagles Bob Lang tried to clean this up and have the players backtrack. Guess who loved it? Jay fucking Glazer. How you doing? Get
him on the show. Get him on the show.
With me that Bob Lang made Brandy Graham.
He didn't agree with you. He liked the tweet, you sisspot.
Well,
he liked the tweet.
Who
cares? All right, wait. One more thing. All right, one more thing before we get into that. All right, I got to drop. Jason, great meeting you, brother. I love meeting our great people.
Dude, that's so
on JAKIB.
Great.
Yeah, Jason's the man. It was cool meeting him. He's supported us a lot, so always cool meeting him. All right, let me drop as much as everybody loves the Big Sills behind me, for a second, I got to remove it. All right, here we go. So I have added to Xander Claus, not Xander Hurts. Okay, maybe Xander Eagles, Xander Claus. Okay, and I have added a jersey. We're up to 11 jerseys.
Oh my God!
All right, listen now.
Wait a minute. I got to tell you guys, I'm going to put my name into the raffle for this fucker too. I want my name in this raffle for this thing that he's going to give away. By the way, you have to be a subscriber, okay? Make sure you
shut your ass up.
Hey, dude, I'm going to tell you guys.
All right, let me show it, though. Let me show it. All right, so I got a jersey that's very special.
If Betty's watching, I want you to buy this.
This is a very special jersey to this show, okay?
Yes.
And I'm up to 11 jerseys. Now, what I'll probably do is 10 for the Christmas giveaway, and we'll give away this jersey on an edition of the National Football Show, maybe next week closer to Christmas. But I got an authentic here. Jerome Brown stitched up jersey. And this has the 99. And this is going to be special for this show. It's Mitchell and Ness.
Oh, wow. That Furman Philly?
Look at this thing, man. The great Jerome Brown.
That is
And this is going to be special for the National Football Show,
Man.
a giveaway. And for our great viewers, I'd like to tell you something that Big Sills told me before the show. Okay? So Big Sills, and I love that jersey, by the way. I can't wait to give it away to somebody. Big Sills told me before the show, as much as he rags on our football team and our quarterback and everything else, he said he will wear a Jerome Brown jersey.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I would.
So I am going to do anything I can to acquire another Jerome Brown jersey. Rest in peace, Jerome Brown. God bless your friend, Big Sills. I know you guys were very close. But I thought that was a cool thing to do because of Sileo's relationship with Jerome Brown. He obviously played with him at Miami. And all these jerseys. And I'm like, listen, dude, this is nice. It's stitched up. Kelly green. It's that old Kelly green, though, that has it's like the little holes in the jersey. It's dope, man. It's fucking dope. So I wanted to do that for the great people. So we'll do that on the National Football Show at some point next week. I want someone to have it. I know that I want it. I got it. I'm going to get Sills one. We got to get Sills one. We will get Sills one.
I want one of you because you know why? That guy loved playing for you. I can't tell you how much he enjoyed being a Philadelphia Eagle. Some of you may be too young, but dude, we had conversations all the time about how much he enjoyed playing in Philadelphia. And that's one of the reasons why they retired his number. And you see his number up in the rafters there at Lincoln Financial is because he loved playing for you guys, man. He really, his heart, that's why on his tombstone, you know what's on his tombstone? The U and an eagle.
Yep.
It's on his tombstone. So, I mean, yeah,
it's really a sick jersey. And I thought it was really special just because obviously of your relationship with Jerome. So I went out of my way to get that. And I'm very happy that I did. Now, in other news on exciting stuff in the giveaway, we'll decide because people are saying Sills deserves that jersey. And I think you guys might be right. If I'm not able to get a second one, I think we give that one to Sills, but I think I can get a second one and I'll send that one to Sills and I'll give this one away.
I'll wear that bitch every Monday on the show.
Wow, that would be awesome. Now, I got another lucky guy today, all right? All the jerseys I got are Kelly green. I got 2-7. I got 3 2-7 jerseys for Quinyon Mitchell that I'm giving away, and I was trying to get Quinyon. I couldn't get him. And I have one jersey that's not Kelly green, and I want to see what the people think of it, all right?
Look at this! Jay Glazer!
Sileo and the Jay Glazer.
Jay Glazer is confirming Big Sills is right. I 1,000% believe that this man, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he knows that he's telling the truth and Brandon Graham is a liar.
You shit on the media every other week, and now you love the media. You just love Jay. I know you like the bat. You're loyal. You're an Italian loyal guy. Jay's been on this program. Everybody,
that's true.
I know what Sills is doing.
Hey, that's
all right, but
true.
check this last one out. Check this last one out. All right, this is Cooper DeJean, but it's black and Kelly green.
Like it.
So it's still an NFL jersey. It's still pretty sick. It's not the one they wear on the field, but Cooper DeJean in black. So we got Cooper, we got Quinyon, we got Jerome. No Bryce Huff. No Bryce Huff. All right. All right. Looking forward to doing all that. So Glazer, what's Glazer doing now that you're so jacked up over there about?
I tweeted out a bunch of things here, and this is what I said. I go like this. I did this here. I go. So the Eagles, Brandon Graham and Dom went to Jalen Hurts' house during the bye and said, you had to be a better leader and connect more with the team. Then I wrote down inside there, I actually said too, I 1,000% believe the NFL on Fox's Jay Glazer. Eagles Bob Lang tried to clean this up and have his players backtrack. And there it was. Boom! He loved it. And that's exactly the truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. He's standing by his report that they had a soiree over at Jalen's house. Look at this. There's only one show on the country.
You liked your tweet, dude. Relax.
There's only one show in the country that would get anybody to respond from the NFL on Fox. And that is Big Sills with truth, justice, and the Big Sills way.
All right, so here, listen. Can I ask you a question? Sure. Okay, so let's say Glazer's report's 100% right. Who gives a fuck?
I don't think it's anything wrong.
They had a powwow.
Why are people upset about it? That he reported that they went to his house and said he should be a better leader.
Well, I mean, I guess he did report that. He reported that he said he should connect with his teammates more. I guess that's being a better leader. And but I don't get it. Like, what's the negative?
12-2.
What's the negative?
Wait a minute. There is a couple stories here. You're right. So what did anybody care if it's 12-2, 10 wins? Okay.
Sounds like it worked. Sounds like it was a great meeting. Sounds like I would love to have been a fly on the wall. Thing worked.
But you had to remind a guy to be a better leader?
No, but being a quarterback is there's a lot more to being a quarterback than that. You understand that. I mean, learning a new offense, trying to figure out, listen, there's a lot of shit that goes in. I don't know what's going on in Jalen Hurts' life. He's also getting engaged and all sorts of other shit. So maybe he left it go for a little bit. Now he's back on his high horse, connecting with his teammates, and we're on a 10 straight winning streak.
I love the fact that I get validated as much as I do here on the Big Sill Show here and with national people telling me. And by the way, are you under the impression old Bobby Lang didn't go into Brandon Graham and go, hey, you better backtrack that and call him a liar? Now he's calling Jay Glazer a liar. Okay, Jay's like, I'm standing by my, you know who told him? Lane.
I'm sick of you right now.
Lane told him.
I still am failing to see where there's any negative spin on this.
You're the one with the negative. I'm the one that just says the guy needed to be reminded to be a better leader.
Okay, great. Worked.
Okay, it worked. Yeah. He was told to be the caboose, carry the mail.
Who said it? Was it Forrest?
He had to be the mailman for 9 weeks, and then, he had a really nice game.
Was it Forrest? Let me tell you, was it Forrest that said, all this shit's bullshit. The only stuff that really matters is the injury report and whether you won or lost.
Dude, love that. Hey, I wish I was giving something away today. He goes, Sills, I don't give a shit about anything but winning in the injury list. I'm like, no, man, that's a pretty freaking good take there, man. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. We had to do Godfather Part Big Sills 2 here because somebody over at NovaCare sent over some juju vibes and ended the first part of the program. I think that's awesome that I could just tweet out here, National Football Show, and everybody just kind of wherever I need responds to the National Football Show. That just shows you the power we have here on the program, that the number one reporter in the NFL is confirming what I said. I 100,000% believe you. Hey, 100% believe you.
The number one reporter in the NFL did not say that as a negative thing about the Eagles.
He said that the guy needed to be a better leader.
No, he didn't.
He said that they needed. Wait a minute. Here's Xander trying to dissect this thing into being the glasses half full and a good note. Watch this. So wait, we want you to connect more with the O-line. We want you to connect more with the coach. Go see the coach more. Go kiss his ass a little bit more. We want you to connect with the wideouts. We want you to connect with the running back. We want you to connect with the defense. Jesus criminy, man. Isn't that being told to be a better leader?
I don't really think so. I mean, I think connecting with I think connecting with players is different than being a leader. I mean, maybe there was some I mean, is that a reflection on Jalen Hurts or is that a reflection on some other dudes in the locker room? Like, do they really need to be buttered up by their quarterback in order to fucking feel good about the team?
I think AJ does. I think AJ needs to be patted on the head and have his ass rubbed.
I don't think that was about AJ Brown.
No. It was about your boy having, hey, go talk to Nikki. Go talk to the O-line. Go talk to you got to connect with the guys in the locker room a little more.
Gosh,
come on, man. And
listen,
Clay,
I'm feeling better about this team the more I talk to you.
Dude, I am feeling better more about my takes than I've ever in my entire life. When I get somebody on the NFL on Fox going, Big Sills, truth, justice, and the Big Sills way.
Looks like one of us is going to be wrong.
I'm not. Wrong on December 18th. There we go again. This guy's, hey, half the race is done, and he's already taken it. Hey, my favorite thing was today so far when we opened the segment. We're back. You see that fucking passing game? Holy shit, John Elway would be proud of that passing game. Hey, you moved up 3 spots to 28th. Congratulations.
You're moving the goalpost.
You're still in the bottom
we don't
5
need it to be John Elway. We don't need it to be, and we never needed it to be John Elway.
Do my Miami math. 32, 31, 29. Wait,
you missed one. You couldn't even fucking count down.
30, 29. So you're in the bottom 5 still in passing offense. I love it. Wait to move up to 5th place as the worst passing team in the league, based off of a game against the Steelers. By the way, again, I told you on Monday, that's a great win. There's no doubt about it. Being back, holy shit.
You got to be kidding me.
So you think it's nothing to it? You think Jalen's been what this year?
If we lost 8 of the last 10 and they came out and said there was a meeting at the bye week, I would say, oh, yeah, what happened there? We won 10 straight. I don't give a shit who met with who about what. All right? Because whoever met with anybody about anything, it was a good damn meeting and it fucking worked. Because we've beaten 10 straight teams. We've swept the AFC North. We are on pace potentially to sweep the NFC East. And we might finish with a 15-2 record. So who gives a fuck, again, about who met with anybody about anything? Because it's all bullshit.
Man, all right? All I'm saying is it's good to see that someone had to remind the quarterback to be a better leader.
Okay.
That's all,
it's a nothing burger, and you know it is.
Hey, I know last week wasn't either. Okay, how about this one? Is Nick Sirianni replaceable?
I like the way you phrased it earlier, where it's like, would you give up Stoutland?
Would you give up Stoutland or Vic?
I would. I don't think I would give up either of those guys. So I guess the answer to your question by default would have to be that, yes, Nick is replaceable. I can't say that and then say Nick is irreplaceable.
Look at what he did. He just added a sidebar asterisk to my fucking question.
Yeah, I agree with Joe Quinn. All humans are replaceable.
Oh my God, what a philosophical way to look at it.
I don't know. I don't think
it's not philosophical. It's win or lose.
I don't think Big Sills is replaceable. I couldn't get another dude to do a show like this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Hey, let me ask you this one now. Would you take Nick or Kellen?
You're asking me that?
Yeah.
I'll take Nick. Kellen's a stifler.
So you give no credit to the guy on the 10-game win streak.
Well, what happened to him and Justin Herbert?
Wait a second. Whoa. I'm not talking about you. Hey, what happened with Vic in Miami?
I don't know. Good question, but it's working here.
Oh, it's not working for Kellen here?
Not really. The passing game's 28. You're just ragging on it.
You just were crowing about a 10-game win streak and 12-2. He's part of that. He's a coordinator to that too.
Okay. I think Nick is a bigger part of it. I don't think he's a bigger part than Vic. It's different.
So you think Nick's truly the offensive coordinator of the team then?
Where did I say that? When did I say that?
Well, wait a minute. One guy gets massive credit on the defensive side, and here's another guy that's also in the same 10-game win streak, and the team has won a franchise record 10 in a row, and he gets fucking no credit for it?
I think he gets less credit than Nick.
How?
Because I think Nick's done a better job.
Of what?
Managing the team.
I love what John said. So wait a minute. Those kumbaya meetings in the slushy part of the
wait. No. Because this now you're not. Listen, if you're gonna rag, fine, but you got to be fair. We said, what does Nick do? Okay, Nick has had several moments this year where this team could have went in the wrong direction. Several moments. He has quieted every storm so far to the 12-2 record. Are you telling me that the head coach of the football team doesn't deserve any credit for that? Is that really what you're telling me?
That a professional football player who gets paid millions and millions of dollars is fucking sitting there going, hey, thanks, coach. I really appreciate you patting me on the head. And sorry for being a disruptive guy. Holy shit, man. These are businessmen, grown-ups too, you know.
Okay, so the way you say it, a head coach doesn't matter fucking at all.
No, that coach, because that coach doesn't have say over his personnel, and he doesn't have say over the coaches he hires.
Well, he's the one who talks to the football team every week in and week out. So I
Oh,
don't really agree with that at all.
he's replaceable.
I never said he wasn't.
Right. Mike Tomlin's not. Okay?
Yeah, Mike Tomlin better get some more wins soon. I'm tired of the regular season wins.
Hey, hasn't won
I
a
like
playoff-
him. He's a great coach, but
Hey,
yeah.
That's Xander. Hasn't won a playoff
Wait.
game in 5 years.
Okay, listen, though. Where's Mike Tomlin ranked for you in the NFL? Top 3, top 5, top 10? Where's he at?
Oh, right now in today's game?
Yeah, just as a coach. I mean, if you ranked a coach that you would hire from top to bottom in the NFL, I don't want to know where Nick would be on that list, but where would Mike Tomlin be?
I'd go Andy, 1. I'd go McVay, 2.
McVay, 2? I don't know if I would.
Yeah, because John McMullen doesn't like him doesn't mean a guy who's 30
Oh, no,
years.
I don't.
No. I'm not saying that it sways you, but name me another coach in the NFC that has a better record in the postseason than him. He's won 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl, dude. I mean, look at the quarterbacks that he has had in there, and every one of them have gone. Look, he turned Baker Mayfield's career around. I mean, so I think I disagree with John. Hey, and by the way, when John goes like this, well, he was out schemed by Belichick. Well, yeah, that's going to happen, dog.
Yeah,
Okay?
right.
So I'd go McVay. I got to tell you, my third favorite coach in the NFL right now is the guy up in Minnesota. That Kevin O'Connell guy, man. I mean,
I'm not taking him over Nick.
I'll tell you why. Well, you think Nick could win fucking 10 games, 12? No, you think Nick could go 12-2 with Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett's not as good as Sam Darnold.
Oh,
Sam Darnold was a top
Sam
pick.
Darnold's on his 4th team.
I know, but he was a top pick, so there was inherent talent there that many
Who's
teams.
this guy? He was a first-round pick too.
Yeah, he was late 20s. He was late 20s, and he
Awesome.
wears gloves to throw.
Sam Darnold's been fired by 4 teams.
Kenny Pickett stinks. I'm Kenny Pickett's biggest hater. You're talking to the
I
wrong
thought
guy.
Sam Darnold stunk.
I hate
Turned
Kenny
the ball
Pickett.
over. That's the guy he said he saw a ghost.
Kenny Pickett's terrible. He sucks.
So
In fact, I hate our backup quarterback. I'd like
Who's
to
your
do
favorite backup quarterback in the NFL? Gardner Minshew?
better. I guess backup now.
Do you think Nick?
No, wait, ready? I got one. I
right.
got one.
Nate's up
Carson Wentz.
I got it. All right. Do you think Nick could win 12 ball games with Carson Wentz?
I think Andy could. I don't know about Nick.
I
don't know about Nick.
Do you think Nick could go 12-2 with a backup?
All right, wait. My point is, though, that Tomlin was on the Hard Knocks last night. They did an AFC North, and they released on Tuesday nights, and it's of the previous week. And he's going into his meeting rooms talking about basically, we got to slay Goliath here. We got the best team in the NFL, the best defense in the NFL, the most versatile offense in the NFL, the best running man. That's what he said to his team in the meeting on the Hard Knocks. And I'm listening to this guy, and I'm like, wait a second. Sileo tells me every day my team sucks. And Mike Tomlin, he calls one of the best coaches in the NFL, is telling his team, you prepare him for the beast this week.
Hey, I'm going to give you guys.
We are the gauntlet, Sileo.
Guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here just to help out young Xander here. Here's exactly what a guy like Lou Holtz would do. I don't know how we're going to beat this Miami team. These guys are fucking fast. They're great. Look at the size of the guys they have. I've never seen anything like it. Holy shit. Xander was right. This team is the best team. And you're like, hey, fuck, you're 10-0. Why are you playing it up like, you're not good too?
Well, we're later in the year now. We only got 3 games left on this season.
I think that's what I'm saying to you.
We're a little later here.
When it was December 15th, Xander, and you beat them the way you did, it's really an impressive win.
Right. I mean, we talk, and when we watch football in September and October, what's one of the biggest comments you make after a game?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Let's see it after Thanksgiving. Let's see it.
Right.
Let's see it. So I think the fact that the team, I think, played their best game as a whole on December 15th is a very positive sign for where this team is right now. And look, the other thing is the health. I mean, we're more healthy than teams. Right. Now, they activated Bryce Huff today. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but they did activate him, so we're getting healthier.
I like the fact that you're getting another body.
Yeah, right. But I don't want to. By the way,
I
don't want to lower Nolan Smith's snaps though for him.
No, they're going to take them away. They're going to take Hunt's away
from Hunt.
But But here's the problem. Here's old Nicky lying like he's fucking Pinocchio again. I thought he was playing really good before the break and before he got hurt. And, I was like, you did not think that. You did not think. There's old Nicky lying again going, I tell you what, if that guy was Pinocchio, man, seriously, that guy could do a balancing act on his nose.
Yeah, really.
Holy shit. I thought Bryce Huff was playing great football before he got hurt. And you're like, no, you didn't.
Well, but that's Nick, dude. He just butters the media all day. It's what he does. I'm so used to it now. I don't even give a shit. It's like
So
when
you
Andy
don't
Reid,
believe the things that come
after
out of
13
nowhere.
years of Andy Reid, I remember when I was a kid and Andy Reid was the head coach and I was much younger. And Andy Reid used to come on his post-game press conferences. And I would be in the house and my dad would be watching Andy Reid's press conferences. And he would be like, fucking Andy says the same shit every time. Oh, that's on me. Every coach has their shtick, okay? Andy's was a little different. Nick's is a little different. You can bet your ass that Nick is going to butterball somebody in his organization every time he speaks. That's Nick. I don't really care. He's 46-19. Just keep winning, dude. Just keep fucking putting out the fires and winning.
Listen to this guy talking like there's some sort of dynasty going on over here in Philly land. I mean,
I think your comment is right about the dynasty.
That's no dynasty, man.
I know it's not, and we're not there yet. But I think there's a gray area where Sileo loves to, act like you're 2-12 when you're 12-2, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to.
You should act like you've done nothing.
Anybody that's been a fan of this team for a long time knows that it's not always like this. You're not always this good. So I think you can enjoy how good our football team is. Enjoy the wins. Enjoy watching us beat up on a physical Pittsburgh Steelers. Enjoy watching us destroy the Baltimore Ravens. Enjoy watching us beat the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. I think it's fine to enjoy that. We're not a dynasty yet. I don't think anybody thinks that we're a dynasty yet. If you do, you should probably get your head checked. We haven't even won a Super Bowl. But I'm enjoying how good our football team is. I think it's okay to do that.
Yeah, it's wonderful to enjoy where you are on December 18th. That's totally great. Not a problem. I'm not said that.
What's the point of being a fan?
That's why we put a mandate on Monday. There's no more excuses. Like I said, freaks, Big Sills will be coming off the top rope like Jimmy Superfly Snuka if you don't fucking win that thing and you're not in New Orleans. I'll tell you this, it'll be the biggest disappointment in Eagle history. And I'll make this point to you. 2004, 2022, 2017, 2024. Those are your Super Bowl appearances. I won't go back to the 80 team that you had with Vermeil. I'll just do over the last 30 years here, and we'll go those teams. I went back and looked at that 2014. So they had Westbrook on it. Here, let me write it down here.
Yeah, they had some crazy people. Westbrook,
you had Westbrook on that team. You also had John Runyon on that team. You had Terrell Owens. You had the best quarterback in franchise history on that team, and McNabb, whether you like it or not. And you had Brian Dawkins on that team.
Todd Stinkston was on that team. Trey Thomas was on that team. That was a good team. Trotter, Lito Shepard, Sheldon Brown, Brian Dawkins. That was a good team. Boy,
there was Lito Shepard was on that team, I believe.
Yeah, I just said him. Lito Shepard and Sheldon Brown.
Okay, so you have a lot of Eagle Hall of Famers on that team. Okay, what Eagle guy on this team right now will be an Eagle Hall of Famer? A.J. Brown, probably Devontae, Lane.
Okay, I mean this in the most serious way possible. I'm not kidding. If you think that Jalen Hurts on this trajectory is not going to be an Eagle, if he continues this trajectory, forget Super Bowls, winning. Donovan McNabb's an Eagles Hall of Famer. He never won a Super Bowl. This level of winning, Jalen Hurts will 100% be an Eagle Hall of Famer without a doubt.
Well, okay.
A.J. Brown's arguably the best receiver in Eagles history.
It's hard to say. Well, I mean, McNabb did, and you're right. He didn't win it, but he went to 5 straight NFC champ. He went to 5 NFC championships. Well,
Hurts' career. I mean, look, he's 26 years old. He's got a lot of career to go. I'm not saying he's there yet.
I got it, but again, and I hate McNabb. Okay, and I'm just telling you, McNabb's a better quarterback than Romo, Dak, any of them other guys. You know why? He's won. I mean, he won a ton of games for you, dude. A ton of games.
I listen. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying though, you asked who could potentially be an Eagle Hall of Famer from this team. I do think there's actually a lot of people.
I don't
remember we have a soft owner. Like he likes putting people in. Like he's not really like this guy that's like, oh, I need a ring. Like he'll put people in. He likes people that had a big impact on the team, the community, the city. I'm fine with that. But he's a liberal owner, and he's got more lenience on stuff like that. So I think the owner likes Jalen Hurts more than anybody inside the locker room. Or not inside the locker room. I mean, inside the organization. Like, I think the owner just loves Jalen Hurts, and I'm cool with that. But I think that's where the infatuation with Jalen comes from. I think it's mostly the owner. But
so what team? Hey, I'm not going to take you back to 04. I think you were like 2 years old then or some shit. 17, 22, or 24. What team would you want to go to the Super Bowl in New Orleans with? This is a hard question. How about this?
It's hard because the 17 team won. So it's like, how could I not say that?
What roster would you want to go? What roster would you want to go? Not watch this. Don't look at Super Bowls, postseason, records. What roster would you want to go to New Orleans with?
It's 24 for me. I think you're too versatile. I think you have too many weapons in too many places. Add in the number.
Consistent in the 2014.
Well, that's fine, but that's not what the question was. The question was the roster.
Yeah, the roster. Okay.
The defense. I mean, the defense is consistent. They're the number one defense in the NFL, and they have been for the whole year, basically most of the year.
But the 22 team, AJ and Devontae were better, and so was Hurts.
Yeah, I think you got Saquon this year, who's a closer, which I don't think he had. I remember Miles Sanders. I think now listen, I'm not saying that Cam Jurgens is Kelsey, but the drop off wasn't that big to go to Cam, and that's an impressive thing for him. But right. I think really the biggest difference is the running back, because we didn't play Miles Sanders in the Super Bowl really because he fumbled in one of the first plays, and our running game was kind of depleted. And when you have a closer like Saquon, I think it changes how you can play a football game. And I'm going to take Saquon there. And I think Jalen Hurts is more developed. I think A.J. Brown's better in 24 than he was in 22 as a player. I think Devontae Smith's more polished, a 4-year player instead of a 2-year player. Dallas Goedert's probably a little bit worse now. Offensive line, I would say, is a push. And the defense is number 1 overall with a better coordinator. So I'm going to go 24 because I just think that team is overall, top to bottom, a better unit.
Here's why I'm taking the 22 roster. Okay. AJ and Devontae and Jalen and the entire offense was more of a talented group that was able to connect both running and throwing. And when you look at the O-line, you had Pro Bowlers. Sayamalo also was outstanding. He starts now with Pittsburgh. Lane was better. Mulata maybe not as good as now. Yeah, Landon might be better. The left side might be better, okay? Goddard was better. The quarterback was better. The running back was not, obviously an upgrade. But then you flip it around on the other side. You were 10 times deeper in the defensive tackle position than you are now, with more production then. Your edge rushers were insane more. And you had Reddick, who had 16 and a half sacks. Your linebacker had 160 tackles. Is that a push between him and Zach? Zach's probably a little better, but the production that TJ had, he had 159 tackles that year. Okay? Kaiser had
way less versatile.
The linebackers are a push.
No,
except for this.
I'm telling you, they're not.
Production-wise, they were.
Yeah, but that's different, dude. Listen, how many Patrick Mahomes picked on that position in the Super Bowl because TJ Edwards was a liability in coverage. So was Kazir White.
Okay.
I think Nakobe Dean is, I'm not saying it's drastically bigger. I think Zach Bond's a much more versatile linebacker who's much better in coverage than TJ. TJ Edwards was a great downhill player, a great tackle or physical player. Zach Bond's your much more well-rounded linebacker. I mean, he's playing. Dude, he's
okay, let's do this. The front four is clearly 22. The linebackers, okay, if you want to go there with this. And here's the problem that I have with, I heard you guys talking with Mike Gill about this. Both corners made the Pro Bowl, and you were number 2 in pass defense. And you had Epps, who had 98 tackles back there. Epps is better than Reed Blankenship that year. And I forget who the other guy. Oh, CJ led the NFL in interceptions that season with 6. The defense had more production, and you had 70 sacks. I mean, the 22 defense, Xander, was a better group of players than the 24 team. Now, the 24 team has
I don't
this.
think, by the way, can we just say, I don't think the 2017 team is particularly close to either of these two teams.
The 17 team?
Which to your point is why you're right. If we never win a Super Bowl with this team, it's going to be a massive disappointment for the city. But think about that 17 team. We gave up 500 passing yards in the Super Bowl and won the game. Like, I don't think that team was as good as our teams are now. I don't think Howie was operating at the same level as a GM. I think Doug Peterson was a better football coach, and he extracted more out of his players than Nick is now. He had better coaching, I think. I think it's fair to say that, but we'll see. I mean, let's see the end of the season. I think Vic's done a really good job. I think Vic Fangio and Jim Schwartz were our push.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think Schwartz has got more on his resume where he's won a Super Bowl and he had the number 1 defense in the NFL a year ago. I mean, this guy is proven. And
right,
again, like I said, I mean, Jim Schwartz is a good coordinator, dude. I mean, he really is. And
yeah, but it's not so the difference between the two Eagles versions of those coordinators isn't as big as I think you're not you're making it out to be, but it's not that wide of a margin. The Eagles versions of these two coordinators, Vic is the number 1 defense in the NFL. We've never had a number 1 defense in the NFL ever.
Yeah, you did with Gang Green.
No, we didn't. They were never the number 1 defense in the NFL.
Huh? They didn't finish number 1 that year.
No.
I thought they were number 1 across
Someone
the board.
check me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive we have never had a number 1 overall defense.
The 92 team was number 1 in the NFL, I believe, in defense. NFL coaching staff for the 2004 team. And this is, again, too, you got to remember something about that 4 team. I think that 2004 team had the best coaching staff that you've ever had.
They were in 91, Bud Carson. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
That's Gang Green.
All right.
2004.
Anyway, all right. So we've had it, but since 91. So it's been 33 years. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I got it. Let's see here. Yeah, that 2004 team that got to the Super Bowl had Owens, Jeremiah Trotter, Lito Shepard, Brian Dawkins, Michael Lewis, David Akers, Ike Reese, Brian Westbrook, Donovan McNabb. You had 5 first-team Pro Bowl, all 5-team first-team All-Pros. And here was your coaching staff. Brad Childress was your offensive coordinator, former NFL head coach. Quarterbacks coach, Pat Shurmur is former head coach in the NFL. You had Jim Johnson as your defensive coordinator, one of the greatest of all time. Steve Spagnuolo was your linebacker coach, who has 4 rings now. Sean McDermott is the head football coach of the Buffalo Bills, was the head of your safeties. John Harbaugh was head of your special teams. Your coaching staff in 2004 was superior to anything you've had.
Yeah, but that version of Andy was different than the version of Andy now.
True.
A lot of that is attributed, obviously, to getting the best player on earth. I think that's fair to say.
Agree.
But
Agree.
Listen, I think to the point, though, is anybody that's an Eagle fan and has been an Eagle fan for a long time knows that it's not always this good. It's not. You don't always win games this much, man. And with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, man, we win a lot of football games. So I get it. There's issues. I get it. You are pulling away some of it and you're not ready to see it until you see it. I'm fine with that. That's your approach, but I feel pretty damn good about this team, dude.
I'll give Elf Roseman a little love here.
You can't even call him Elf Roseman anymore, Mr. Grinch.
Hold on here. I can't believe that from the 2022 team, from that shit show train wreck a year ago, how fast he rebounded. I mean, would you not agree since the Super Bowl he's been a better GM? Or wait a minute, better yet.
Yeah.
Since Chip Kelly got kicked out of the organization, that's when his career took off.
Yeah, and I think he's getting incrementally better every year. Literally. I honestly believe that.
I dismiss the 4-win season. You know why? There's too many good moments of winning. Where if you're
Yeah,
going
around
to,
it.
if you're
That
gonna,
was the outlier, right?
yeah, if you're going to take the Carolina game away, Xander, and go, that's just fucking football. And the Eagles in the Steeler game is kind of like I think you're somewhere in the middle. I think you're somewhere in the middle between Pittsburgh and Carolina. You're somewhere, and see that canyon? That's a little too far of a canyon for me. I want to see that closer. I want to see that gap closer. You can't play against Carolina one week, turn around and play against the Steelers and go, yeah, we're back. I want to know. I want that thing to be narrow because that's what's going to, you know what? People are going like this about Kansas City. Kansas City's the luckiest and the shittiest team this year. They're 13-1. Do you know how many games they've lost in 2 years? I mean, they're 25-4 or 25-7. I mean, dude, and they're going on their second Super Bowl run here, and they're going to try to win 3 in a row. Fucking say whatever you want, man. I mean, that's the team here. All right, here's one last. By the way, we'll read your supers because we're going to do the battle royale. I don't know what Mark Holmes.
Yeah, we should get the supers because we got. All
right, let's do Mark now, then, man. Let's do Mark. I mean, Mike. Wait, let's do the supers now. Dan.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Brian says Xander, Jalen Hurts didn't develop. Motherfucker regressed from the Super Bowl. He's basically a black Jimmy G. No, what the fuck? That's what what's his name was saying today. That dumbass that crying because Jalen Hurts is a handsome guy. That's a weird take by that dude on ESPN, man. And he can double down. Pumper, what? You're not going Foxworth on me, are you?
Wait,
is that what it is, Pump? Is that what it is, Pump?
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
Did you not see that yesterday? The dude.
No, I didn't. What?
He said he has pretty privilege. Jalen Hurts.
What's that mean?
It means that he thinks he's handsome and a good-looking guy, I guess, and he thinks that he gets talked about better because of that. I think that's what he meant.
Wow,
yeah, I tweeted out. It was one of the
really
weirdest.
Cringy. I'm literally
really weird. I said it was one of the weirdest football takes I've ever read in my life. And,
this is a little cringy.
And then there's videos floating around of his actual wife sitting on a set with him, doing a show with him, talking oohing and ahhing about Jalen Hurts and talking about if she could push his tush in the tush push. His wife next to him. And I'm like, oh, now I know why he's crying about Jalen Hurts' pretty privilege. That was a weird thing on ESPN.
Yeah.
No limit.
I'm not sure that's really an analyst.
What do you live under a rock? That was all over social yesterday.
No
Limit says.
Hey, wait a minute, Xander. I try not to go into takes like that on good looks. I don't know, man.
I listen. Weird. Okay. Weird. No Limit says, I think you guys underrate the Vikings defenses. They're really balanced on offense and defense. I like our chances, but that matchup would be close. What do you think? Yeah, I like it. I mean, Sam Darnold's a fucking pumpkin until he's not, I'm going to call him one. Okay. He better win in the playoffs, just like Sileo wants Jalen to win in the playoffs, which he's done.
Yeah.
Darnold is a pumpkin.
Well, he hasn't been this year.
No, he hasn't. That's correct. He's been very good.
And by the way, to this point, he's actually outplayed Hurts.
Well, he's a different style, but yeah, he has. He's throwing the ball really well. Give him credit. Dude, it's Keith Johnson.
I can't believe they coached the shitness out. Hey, can you imagine this? Before I get Mark Holmes on at 40 here, Sam Darnold's outplayed Dak too. How you doing? Then again, Cooper Rush has outplayed Dak.
Keith says, Sills, we're 12-2. Who gives a F about Glazer sounding like CNN? Enjoy the ride. Put some respect on Sirianni's name.
Sirianni is a fucking goofball. Look at this, man. Jay Glazer confirming with Big Sales that they had a soiree at Xander Hurts' house, and they were sitting there going, hey, you got to be a better leader, Jalen.
Y'all owe us till 7. Come on, we have one dropout. No Limit says we owe him till 7. There will be the night show tonight. We'll have Sal Palantonio on tonight. The night show, 6 to 7:15. We'll have Sal Palantonio on. We'll get John Kime on, who covers the Commanders. So that should be good. So we will be live till 7. No Limit. The Phillies Ace says, where is Sills? Contradicts himself when elite quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Are Jeff Hostetler, Nick Foles, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer? Big Sills is confused. Wait, Phillies Ace, though. We don't want Jalen to be compared to those guys.
Hey, wait a minute. I like that take. So Jalen Hurts, Jeff Hostetler, Brad Johnson,
Phillies Ace,
Trent Dilfer, not a problem. Congratulations. You have just named him Brad Johnson. Congratulations.
You talked yourself into a corner. Look at you, like Grinch Sills. You gave him a layup.
Look at that.
Sean
He's
Mims.
Jeff Haas. Jalen Hurts is Jeff Hostetler.
Sean says, rather have wins instead of stats. Look at Burrow.
Joe Burrow's stats. Joe Burrow's actually been to 2 AFC championship games. He's been to a Super Bowl himself. And he's right now probably.
Yeah, but the point is that the elite quarterback's not the end all be all in terms of it doesn't fix everything. You got to have a good team too.
You got to have. Well, I think you have a decent team.
Are the Bengals below decent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Defensively, but dude, I think them getting rid of Joe Mixon. I think they underestimated that run game, man. Ask Dallas how they feel about not having even the boy that they had there last year, man. That kid they had there last year may not have been a lot, but you know what he did do? He kind of made it where you had to kind of look at him.
Well, those quarterbacks all rode their defenses to wins. Maybe Hurts will do the same. Twiz says Sills jerks off and thanks himself.
Every day I know truth, justice, and the big Sills way. And I love it when the people on the NFL on Fox validate what we say here on our show every day.
Fucking Twizzler. That's some funny shit, Twiz. Prince says, Xander, you better be careful having Sills behind you before he says, how you doing in your ear.
Well, I'll tell you what, Prince, if you and Xander keep watching a guy say that Jalen Hurts has pretty privilege, I don't know, bro. I don't watch videos like that. Hey, it's pretty privileges? What the fuck is that?
I'm waiting for you to start saying the same shit. You sound like Fox or something.
Yeah, hey, that guy, he's a really good quarterback. Why, Sills? Well, he looks great on GQ.
Own the Bonehead says, Green's a good look on you, Sills. Abe says, mailman, DoorDash, Uber driver. I don't care. Just win the game. Good stuff, Abe. Abe won our giveaway this morning on Birds 365. I gave away a Saquon Fly shirt. Flexen says, Howie and the Hurts Avengers can't stop shit. I guess our show got taken off the air. Holmes, we got kicked off the air today.
Drop out for some reason out of fucking nowhere. A lightning bolt hit us.
Twiz says, I need you to gaslight Holmes for calling me a racist, believing his top mod's fake transcript. I need an apology.
Listen here. Hey, Pizwa, listen. When you're a guy like Mark Holmes and me and everybody else who's on the air for 1,000, you may have got that misunderstood because he was probably eating a pastrami and cheese sandwich. So you probably don't know what he was really thinking there. So, I mean, look, I love Mark. I do. I just don't know what the hell he's talking about anymore with that guy. Hey, by the way, did you hear, before we can bring him in, did you hear Jerry Jones goes, hey, man, Mike Zimmer and Mike McCarthy have done really a great job.
They're going to be back. They're going to be back.
Like, if you're an Eagle fan, you're like, bring them back.
I mean, I don't really think this year is Mike McCarthy's fault, is it?
No.
I don't think so. All right, I got to go. You have fun with Mark Holmes and Philly.
It's the personnel people's fault. And he knows it too. All right. Xander.
All right. Goodbye.
Xander, you've got to do something for me here, though. You got to admit one thing.
All right.
Jay Glazer responding to the show and me pointing out, and I said that I 1,000% support you, Jay, in your reporting that they had to go to Jalen Hurts' house to tell him to be a better leader.
We'll see. They're 10-0.
That's the soundbite.
We're 10-0. We're 10-0 since that meeting.
No.
So
I want you to admit that they went to the home to be and tell him to be a better leader.
Who cares if they did? What are you? Professionals hang out. Cool. All right. That's fine. Now, I'm excited for this. Philly's going to like this. Philly, look at what we're giving away. A Jerome Brown authentic here on the Sileo show. So I just wanted to remind everybody of that. We'll do that.
He's wearing one.
Oh, my gosh. That is epic. Philly's coming in the same jersey that I'm giving away. That is as good of a promo as you're going to get. All right, have a good segment with those.
Hey, wait, last thing here. You know what we're going to do for Mark Holmes? We're going to give a Mozzie Smith.
Mozzie. All right, I'll see you.
No, it's called Lazy Smith, but hey, don't worry. It's no. I have a guy, 304, who constantly is telling me that Micah, why do you have such a problem telling Micah calling him a good player or a great player? I'm like, because he doesn't play the freaking run. Anyway, I love this segment. It's one of my favorite segments of the week. By the way, Mark Cuban has agreed to come on Thursday. Okay? So we're going to get Mark Cuban on Thursday. And now, without further ado, these guys are the warm-up act for Mark Cuban for tomorrow. And I have no idea what Mark Holmes talks about any longer. We'll read all your super chats. And Philly 500, boy, I'll tell you what, man, he's got a drama-filled football team with this Eagle team. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who covers the 3-win Dallas Cowboy, a 3 or 5 or 6 or something, I don't know. Mark Holmes and the legendary Philly 500. Here we go.
Oh, we're haymakers today, baby. What's happening?
Mark,
what happened?
That's 6 wins to you, okay? You said we wouldn't get 5. We got 6. So, you're wrong about something at least, okay?
You got me. Philly, what is going on with your team? You got to have Jay Glazer report that, get this, hang on here. You got to have BG and Suge Knight, Big Dom, go over to Jalen Hurts' house to be a better leader? I mean, what's going on with your Eagles? It's 1 week, it's another thing.
Sure, I'm sure that's what happened. I'm sure. Oh, you got to go over and talk to Jalen Hurts because he can't talk to other players. I don't believe it. What I've come to realize is that it's either Jalen Hurts, he's successful because of everybody else and what everybody else did, or Jalen Hurts, he's the reason for all the problems in the world. At this point, it's ridiculous. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I flat out don't believe it happened.
Here's what happened on my Twitter page. I posted this. I said, so the Eagles, Brandon Graham and Big Dom went to Jalen Hurts' house during the bye and said, you had to be a better leader and connect with the team. Then I said, I 1,000% believe the NFL on Fox is Jay Glazer. He's been on the program. I know him well. I said this is an Eagles Bob Lang trying to clean this thing up again and make the players backtrack. And, of course, Jay Glazer, out of nowhere from the NFL on Fox, liked the tweet that I had and said that, hey, I back him because I know him 20 years. Brandon Graham actually blocked me today, and I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. But here, at the end of the day, so what if he said it? They're 10 wins in a row, and they're 12-2, and they wanted him to connect. What's the problem?
I don't think there's a problem, except for that it probably didn't happen. It didn't happen. So, it just gets ridiculous. So look at every week. Every week it's something new. Right? If Jalen Hurts plays bad or the Eagles have a tough game like the Carolina game, it's all Jalen Hurts' fault. If he has a good game, it's everybody else. Can't we just say that this guy isn't a perfect quarterback, but he's a very good quarterback that can win games? And that's what he does. I love hearing you talk about consistency now. Well, consistency is one thing that you can say with Jalen Hurts is he wins. He consistently wins.
But wait a minute. He hasn't been consistent this year playing the quarterback position.
What do you mean? What are they, 12-2?
They're 28th in passing.
Okay, but you don't have to. He doesn't have to throw for 400 yards.
So
you have a guy having
an passing offense. So you're saying they don't need a passing offense consistency to be able to win the Super Bowl.
What I'm saying is that the games that they've played this year, they haven't had to use him to throw 40 times a game. It hasn't had to happen. Now, will it have to happen at some point in the playoffs? Probably at some point it will. Did it have to happen versus Pittsburgh? Yeah. But when it did happen. But, I mean, we sit there and people literally hold it against him that Barkley has is having a ridiculous year, and he only has to throw 20 or 30 times. Who would you rather be? The Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals? I would take Jalen Hurts any day of the week. Jalen Hurts was 10-1 last year. The year before that, he was in the Super Bowl. This year, he's 12-2. I mean, at what point are we going to stop, like, every single thing this guy does is life or death, you know what I mean? And Mark, he can't talk about this because Dak is not included in something like this because Dak has proven he can't win in the playoffs. He has never been to a Super Bowl.
But I'll make this. Let's go to Mark here. Mark, but the one thing you can comment on is that the most scrutinized and the most ridiculed player in pro football is Prescott.
I don't believe that.
I'm going to say that.
You don't think the Dallas Cowboys are
Not
the most
chance.
watched, the most criticized?
No, wait. Hold it.
No. Dak Prescott is the most forgive quarterback who can't win big games. I have never in the life have ever seen a quarterback. I've never seen a quarterback that gets up ass every year in the playoffs. No, it wasn't. He talked to me. He addressed me.
He asked me a
I'm
question.
Philly 500. You're a glizzy man. When he said 500, I was speaking, Mark. I was speaking, Mark. I was speaking, Mark.
No, he asked me a question, and you didn't give me a chance to even answer it. No.
He didn't ask you a question.
He did ask me a question. He turned to me
You jumped in. It was my turn. Let me finish my damn sentence.
And I heard, what is that? It was your raggedy ass voice in my ear. I'm like, I could have sworn he asked me a question, and I was going to answer said question, and I was going to ask you a question. Shut the fuck up, man.
Once I finish my point,
then you can talk. Your mouth is moving, but you ain't saying shit, man. You ain't saying shit.
Oh, yes, I am, and it's loud, and it's
oh, my God. Laughable is right, because that shit that's coming out your mouth.
Are you one of those Eagle fans that eat horse shit? Because all I was trying to do is make my point. It's flowing out. You are so hypocritical. Because there is nobody that's a bigger.
You are literally defending Hurts.
Dude, you have a 3rd and 30 shirt on.
You
have a 3rd and 30 shirt on for a game in a regular season against the Eagles. Are you a quarterback? You would make a 3rd and 30 shirt, yet you can't criticize him for the playoffs.
It was made several years ago.
How about pick 6?
Bro,
where's pick 6?
You know, it's so funny. It's so funny that you are sitting here literally saying, well, Jalen Hurts gets all the blame when we lose and gets no credit when we win. Isn't that exactly what you always do with that press? Oh, my God. It is too. It is too. Run the tape back. Run the tape back, please. Please run the tape back. You are so hypocritical. You don't even know the stupid shit that comes out your mouth.
He doesn't even know.
You don't know the stupid shit that comes out your mouth.
He doesn't even win in the playoffs. He has no reason. He can't talk.
But you know what?
That can't talk.
You know, I would love it if my quarterback had the opportunity that yours has. That he only has to be, 29th in the NFL in passing? That you got a great running game and a great offensive line. Explain to me when I've actually had that with my quarterback, bro.
And I would love it. You
literally have everything that a handicapped player needs on your team. A great running game.
Right. And I would love to have a quarterback that can play 9 years.
He should be lighting up with the running game that you guys have, okay? I mean, literally, with the running game and offensive linemen that you have, and A.J. Brown one-on-one, and Devontae Smith one-on-one, every freaking pass should be a fucking touchdown. If he
should be a touchdown. Every pass should be a touchdown. Then we'll make a shirt over it.
Let's make a shirt. Passing game with Kellen Moore, who's a genius.
Yeah. Oh, it's Kellen Moore's fault.
I can't wait to see you arrogant ass mother humpers that have been living on my channel swearing that you're going to have a blowout the Super Bowl.
Literally has 2 wins in the playoffs, and you want to talk about excuses? The biggest excuse.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Your quarterback is 9 years in the playoffs.
Hold on. Wait. How many wins in the playoffs does your quarterback have?
But how many NFC championship years?
How many? What? I can't hear you.
How many years? How many more years did that?
I believe your quarterback has 2 as well.
He does. Why? Why is that acceptable for you? Your quarterback played 4 more years.
He's literally like special ed.
4 more years.
Okay.
All right.
He's getting
4 more years, Biden.
Hey, that are propping his ass up, bro.
Wait, Mark.
Mike, 2 wins. But
all right, listen.
We'll make a 30 shirt.
Listen.
Hey, I want a third.
Now I'll ask you, for a man who has seen his quarterback criticized, what's your takeaway on how the criticism with Hurts this year has been? I mean, last week it was AJ. This week now you have a national guy in Jay Glazer saying that they wanted him to be a better leader. And by the way, but to Philly's point, Sills, end of the day, they're 12-2. They went on a 10-game win streak. So at the end, I mean, who in the end really fucking gives a shit if it's a winning proposition here? But from a guy who has a guy who I do believe is the number 1 criticized quarterback in the NFL. How do you look at it as a Cowboy fan?
Oh, my God. I was trying to say that exactly what Philly 500 is saying. You might as well call him Jalen Prescott, because literally that's how he's getting treated. That's how Prescott gets treated all the time. It's never, he can throw 450 yards, we get a win, and it was, everybody else played well. It's like he doesn't get any credit when they win. And when they lose, even now he's not even on the field, he gets blamed and trashed. It's just, you're in a no-win situation when you're quarterback. The Eagles, as much as you hate us Cowboys, my God, you guys are turning into us. You are filled with drama just like us now on a regular basis. Don't.
So what did you mean by the comment?
You finished saying what you have to say?
Good, Philly.
Can I talk? All right. Yeah.
No, you can't. Shut the fuck up.
See, I knew this mother humper was going to come here and try to pin and say, I said it was going to be Jalen Prescott. I already knew it. I'm 3 steps ahead of him. That's why I said something.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Dak Prescott doesn't win big games. All right, we're talking about a fan base who literally makes excuses for the quarterback that doesn't win in the playoffs. Do you think Dak Prescott, 2 wins, 9 years in his career, would ever survive Philly and the
So let me ask you.
Dak's had it easy.
Has Dak Prescott ever had a complete team and roster like yours?
Yes, he did. He was number 1 how many times?
Did they have one like that last year?
No.
As good as the Eagles.
As good as the Eagles last year?
Yes.
You just won 12 games 3 straight years, did you not?
Yeah, but
how many playoff wins do you come off?
Okay, so let's
so you just dismissed that, Mark?
So are we saying it's a team that overachieved or underachieved? When you looked at the amount of talent going down last year, you guys truly had more talent than this team did. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
We collapsed the historical collapse. How can
okay, but you underperformed. You underperformed.
We underperformed, yeah. And and us fans held our team responsible.
If a team can underperform with the talent that they have, can they also overperform with the talent that they have?
Yeah.
Because I can look at it right now. If you go down the line and you literally look at last week where we had 7 guys on offense that were undrafted players playing, you look at that and what these guys are playing, they actually overperform for what you expect to get from them.
But that's great. But
generally speaking, you have to look at the Dallas Cowboys that literally are picking up guys off the couch at the end of training camp, plugging them in, that more times than not, they actually overperform for what you expect them to be. They're not a team that has been loaded like a San Francisco or an Eagles that have gone out and got players in free agency.
What did you mean?
We call that revisionist history.
It's not revisionist history.
Yes, it is.
I go into every season and say, we got a hole at linebacker we need to fix. We need a better running game.
You're ignoring the first 5 years when every year the Dallas Cowboys had probably top 2 roster in this league. Everybody knew it, including yourself.
Defense, bro.
See, you can't talk about overachieving when your team consistently underachieves. Your team doesn't overachieve. It only
had great offenses, but they've never had that defense.
Mike Nolan never had great talent when he was the coordinator on that defense. Could they remember the Cleveland game? You guys gave up almost 300 yards in rushing. So I'll concede to this. that your defense hasn't been at the same level the offensive has on the roster. But you made a comment. Mark. Why did you and I get what you're meaning of. Obviously, you're not insulting anybody, but when you said it's a handicapped quarterback because of the roster, what did you mean by that when you said they have? Are you suggesting they have to build a roster up because the quarterback is handicapped in many ways?
Here's what they always say about Dak Prescott. Well, he's got to have elite talent around him to win, and I dare say pretty much most quarterbacks do. And if I look around at your offense, they got elite talent around them, right or wrong.
Everywhere.
Do you think everywhere? Do you think? Okay, if you take Saquon out of there, is Jalen Hurts going to get you to the Super Bowl?
He could.
No. So when I say, and I'm sorry, it's probably not politically correct for me to say that he's handicapped. I didn't mean it. Maybe that was a poor choice of words. But you can't look and say Jalen Hurts. It doesn't matter what team he goes to, they're going to be great. You have an incredible roster that stayed healthy. Okay. And that helps the team. You can look at Cooper Rush right now and people say, well, Cooper Rush is playing great. He's playing great because Rico has gotten 392 yards in the last 3 weeks. When you have a running game,
what's the point you're trying to say? That Jalen Hurts is overachieving or he's just good because he's got
doesn't have to.
That's what you're saying.
He just has to be average with everything that you have.
He just has to be average.
Bro. You have to put 8 men in the box consistently because of Saquon.
I get
you have one. Okay, you have not only one good wide receiver, you've got two. If you're telling me I've got two really good wide receivers there, and I've got to put 8 men in the box, I've got the advantage for my quarterback. I've got one good receiver, CeeDee Lamb. He's getting double covered every single time. And until the last month, we didn't have a running game. We're putting Dalvin Cook out there and Zeke, Father Time as a running game, and we're running the ball 50 yards. You can't expect a quarterback to succeed without a running game. Your team is incredible. I'm giving you that. I concede that. Shout out to Howie for getting all these pieces and going out in free agency. I wish my team would do that. I don't have any of those pieces. And it's hard to say, well, we just suck. Well, yeah, we suck because we don't have the players.
I would say this to you, Mark. I would make the comment that you're right in this aspect here, because I was going to ask Philly. It looks like we're a little bit here where he froze up. We'll get him back on here in a second, but I'll make this comment to you again here, and I'll say this one more time about the roster that they've built this year. I mean, I wouldn't say Jalen Hurts has had a great season when all year long they're ranked 28th in passing, and all of a sudden they have a good game again. You know what the new narrative now in Philly is with the fans? Well, they could do this anytime they felt like it. I don't believe that.
Football is a game of matchups, too.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, but also, too, football is a game of matchups, as you know. Some weeks you have favorable matchups that might lead you to being great running the football and great throwing the football. And sometimes that's a narrative that happens.
Let me ask him this. Mark, let me ask him this. Give me a letter grade on how well you think he's performed in the passing game this year, from the Green Bay game all the way to the Steeler game, Philly, on how well you think he's performed in that level with the passing game, which, by the way, is still ranked 28th.
C+ to B-.
Okay. Why would you go B-? What leads you to believe that they can do? So you're under the belief, like Xander, then, that they could do this anytime they want.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can throw the ball and move the ball through the air if they want to. I don't believe that they're doing it because they can't. And so they're relying on the idea that because Barkley's on the team and Jalen Hurts is deficient at passing, so therefore they have to run Barkley a lot, is not what I believe. I believe quite the opposite. I believe that Barkley's having a great year, and if they needed to pass, they could pass. I believe they can beat you through the run. I believe they can beat you through the air. It's just that they're so dominant running the ball, there's no need to throw 30 times a game, 40 times a game. So why do it?
Let me ask you this then, Mark. So with Philly's notion there and his premise, that's like putting CeeDee Lamb in a closet because if you're more dominant in the running attack, you're not going to use CeeDee Lamb, or you're not going to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb or somebody else. So under what Philly's saying is this: for 10 weeks, they decided not to throw the football at all, basically, in any kind of rhythm. And it went all the way down last week to 31st. Now it's up again with one performance, 28th, and they haven't been consistent. Those are trends. They're not just numbers. So his notion is that they're going to put the two best wide receivers of the top 15. I could say AJ's probably third. So they're not going to use them at all unless they need it, because Barkley's having such a good season. Or I'll give you this. Hang on here, Philly. Watch this. Baltimore is first in passing. Baltimore is third in rushing. The Detroit Lions are second in passing, and they're third in passing. How come those two teams can do that on a daily basis and a weekly basis, but the Eagles are here and here? They're one-dimensional in 1 week or the other. He's saying this: well, we need it, we'll go here, we'll go here. Baltimore, Detroit, and the Ravens do it on a consistent basis. Now, again, to his point, they have 110 in a row. Wait a minute now. You know, their philosophy may be a little different than, say, Detroit's and Baltimore's, because they're 10 wins in a row and they're 12-2. That just may be their formula for figuring it out. How do you look at that?
Me or him?
You, Philly.
Okay, we want to make sure we let Mark talk. Here's the thing. The way I see it is this. You're right. Those other teams have done it more balanced. And I think the Eagles started to get away from it in the past month. And you know, maybe to the detriment of them, they started to get away from it a little too much. And that's why you had guys speak up about it. And they kind of refocused and recame into the game versus Pittsburgh. And you saw what they do. To me, it wasn't like they couldn't ever do it. It was that they weren't doing it. Was that smart? No, maybe not. But that's what they were doing. Hopefully, going forward towards the end of the season, they find a little more balance. But they never, ever were in a position where Jalen Hurts couldn't throw the football. That never was, in my opinion, a real problem.
What's your takeaway on that, Mark?
I think back to the 2014 Cowboys season, probably the team that should have been to the NFC Championship had it not been for the catch, no catch. We had DeMarco Murray, a guy you guys are familiar with, who rushed for over 1,800 yards. And it was, yards-wise, one of the least years for Tony Romo, but he had 37 TDs. And statistically was one of the best ones. And that was a great balanced offense. I just feel like you are you are too heavy run of a team. And when you look at the playoffs, typically, be it the Tennessee Titans, be it the Minnesota Vikings, teams that are really that dominant on the running game have not been really successful deep in the playoffs. And I'll dare say even the Baltimore Ravens in that one.
Usually you have to have a good defense to have a good running game kind of combined. I'll say this: you play outside in the NFC East or in the NFC Conference, and you're playing outside in cold weather in January, you're damn right running the ball is important, and you better be able to do it. And that's why passing numbers always come way down in the playoffs. Because I think you have to be a little more physical of a team, in the playoffs. So I don't think the style in which the Eagles play with I think it's built for the playoffs. But I'm not saying that they became a little too run heavy at times for the last 3-4 weeks. However, when they showed they had to go out and throw the ball against a really good Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they had no problem doing it.
Let me throw this at you, Mark.
Okay, but before you get too happy about the Steelers, remember the Cowboys beat them.
Cleveland beat them.
We beat them too. I'm just saying.
The Dallas Cowboys, come on, dude.
I'm just saying. Listen, you're acting like they are.
We can't even acknowledge the first half of Dak Prescott's career. Why am I going to acknowledge week 2 when Dallas got lucky and beat them with Fields?
It wasn't week 2.
Well, week 3. Was it week 3? Okay, week 3. I was 1 week off. So sue me.
Weeks down the road.
Come on, man. You got to acknowledge Dak Prescott's first half of his career for me to acknowledge that.
Mark, let me ask you this. Explain to me, and I won't even use Detroit. I'm going to use Minnesota here. And you tell me what Philly has done more than what Minnesota has done when, quite frankly, they've given up only 252 points themselves, where the Eagles have given up 247. Brian Flores, by the way, Sam Darnold has been consistent all year long, more so has had a better season than Jalen.
More balanced.
He's had a better season. It's look across the board. He's got 35 touchdowns. And by the way,
he's
say no, he's won 12 games too.
Yeah.
What's
Big Sills? And what's Big Sills' big word that you like to use when we talk about one season? Consistency.
Wait, I think he's been consistent all year long.
He has. The whole team has, and maybe it's a change of coaching and change of quarterback. Kirk Cousins just got benched today. And so you look at this and say, well, maybe Minnesota is not as bad as we think. Thinking that they have to play Green Bay and Detroit in that division, they are battle tested. The schedule that the Eagles have had this season, it's not necessarily been that tough. So we don't really know. The Steelers, up and down team. Russell Wilson still is, reclamation project. I don't know what teams the Steelers are.
But I'll tell you what. You know what? I'm going to defend him on this. You play Lamar. You got Derrick Henry.
You got him. Yeah.
You're playing against a good quarterback in Joe Burrow. The Commanders are not an awful team. They're a 9-5 football team. So I am going to sit there and kind of defend the process a little bit. That, again, too, they had Green Bay at the beginning of the season. They did a nice job against Green Bay. So, I mean, they have played a bunch of pretty good guys here. Tell Philly we can't see him right now, too, so we can't see him. So, again, the Viking defense, dude, I think the Viking defense is scary. So I'll ask you, in your opinion, who's the best team in the NFC right now? Lions, Eagles, or the Vikings?
The Lions scare me. They take too many damn chances sometimes when it's not really warranted. But, it's the NFL. It's a week-to-week league. The Lions didn't look great last week. They may go on a fire, on a big run on the end. I would say I wouldn't sleep on anybody right now, be it Green Bay, be it Minnesota, or be it the Lions, or even the Eagles. But if I had to say, I still believe that the Lions will be the one in the end.
Well, I would make this point here. They've got a couple real good wins to themselves, to the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, they've beaten Houston, who's a playoff football team themselves there. I mean, I think if there's one team in the NFC that's kind of wild, I think it is that Vikings team. Now, let me go to you here. What did you make of the comments that Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer, Jerry Jones has been pretty excited about the fact that, he thinks those guys have done a pretty good job this year. And would you be shocked if they extend both guys?
I was saying to people before it was cool, don't be surprised if Mike McCarthy comes back. I said that long ago when people rolled their eyes. But it's kind of crazy that Jerry Jones went on this whole tangent that losing to Green Bay was, that was it. He was pissed off. And now we have a team that's been a complete disaster, and we're saying, oh, they're doing a good job. Doesn't that seem kind of crazy to you? I mean, literally. Now we're like, moral victories. Now, I get it. If there's anything positive about it, is they don't look and say it's solely Mike McCarthy's fault. They have to look at it and say we are partially to blame, and maybe that's the awakening that will change what they do in the offseason. But at the moment, until they show me differently, I think the Cowboys are going to do what they do. They're going to look at this and say, we had 7 guys on the field that weren't drafted. We know what we're doing here. If we had Dak and if we had Zach Martin and some of the other players that we lost, we would have been a good team. So let's keep the course going right here. But the reality is I don't know.
I'm going to say something that the Cowboys missed the boat this year, and I'll tell you why. Okay? They missed the boat this year because the NFC doesn't really have but 2 teams that are really good. I mean, Green Bay is decent, and they're good. Minnesota, I have no idea what they're going to look like in the postseason. And I think to Philly's point, I don't know what Sam Darnold's going to look like in the postseason because I rarely have seen Sam Darnold in a regular season. Okay,
this
but
is true.
You had a chance this year. You could have won 10 ball games, Mark, and made yourself a player and got to the NFC title game this year. But because of the incompetence that the Cowboys had in their personnel department, this is a total front office disaster. This season isn't on Mike McCarthy. It's not on any of those guys. It's totally on the square shoulders of Jerry Jones on why this football team is in the position. My question would be, though, is why did they just throw up the white flag and try to go for the best draft position they could possibly get? Because currently right now, what you're doing is not going to work.
Well, the reality is even if we had lost this past week, about the best you're going to be would have been 9th. And the worst you're going to be is 14th. So I don't think, we're playing Tampa Bay. That's got something to play for. We're playing you, and then we're playing Washington. I don't know that we win that many more games going down through. Maybe we get lucky and win 1 or 2 of them. But either way, you're still going to be drafting, whether you win or lose, probably around 14th. And so I think Jerry Jones, of course, wanting to stay relevant, drafting high doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a great player. How many times have the Giants drafted in the top 10? And look at them. We got Micah at 12. Yeah, we got Micah at 12. We ended up getting Tyler Smith at 26. So, and
you got Jack in the 4th.
Right. And so, you look at this and say, at least this draft, the Cowboys will be able to draft a top player at a position of need. It'll be basically the best player available. And there will be some really good players that can fall in the first round to, 12 to 14.
So let me ask you this then. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you got Tampa Bay, and it's in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Let me say this to you about
oh, God. It's been horrible in Dallas.
Man. Baker Mayfield was just named the NFC Player of the Week.
Yep.
And they just got through beating in Los Angeles, the Chargers. They went in there, and Mayfield threw for 4 touchdowns in there. I'll tell you what. I mean, you talk about I'll tell you about a guy who owns the Eagles. It's Baker Mayfield. Beat the shit out of him in the postseason. Beat the shit out of him this year, and he's 2-1 versus Hurts. I mean, this is I can't believe the job that he has done. He has been one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC the last 2 years. He's going to throw for 42 touchdowns this year. Unbelievable.
Now, here's the good thing, at least, because see, if you listen to the statistics, they're going to tell you that Rico has 392 yards, the most yards in the last 4 games in the NFL. They're going to tell you that the Cowboys defense has had more sacks in the last 4 games and stuff. This is a good measuring stick because reality is you really only played of that span Joe Burrow and the Commanders. I can't say the Giants are any good, and I can't say Carolina's any good. At least this is an opportunity to see, has Mike Zimmer actually made some hay, be it he doesn't have the studs that he would like to have because we have so many injuries and things. But this will be a good measuring stick to say, okay, here's where we need to go this year in the draft to try and really build.
I see people going like this already that Mayfield's got and will be on trade pack for 14 interceptions or whatever. He's throwing the ball 463 times. He's almost throwing the ball 500 times. And Hurts is throwing the ball 350 times. I mean, you're obviously, not looking at the scenario where that guy's being leaned on more. Okay, Philly power went out. Okay, so looks like Philly 500 is not going to be able to come back.
Oh, Philly.
Wait a minute. I got to tell you, the Philly power going out is like their passing game. Okay?
Oh.
It's like their passing game. 1 week it's here, 1 week it's not.
Jalen Hurts electric.
Wait a minute. We got Philly powers.
Jalen Hurts electric.
His buddy Newsom's got rolling blackouts over here, I think, Sills. My power just went out because I was kicking his ass. He comes out, his buddy. That's who Mark wants. Newsom got their rolling blackouts. He ain't getting off the hook today.
I can't stand that guy.
Hey, look, I'm sorry if I got heated earlier, about the whole, interrupted, but you won't let me finish my sentence. I'm just saying.
But he did ask me a question, and I was trying.
But I was in the middle of trying to finish. Then you could have took over.
Lord.
But here's what I gotta say.
See, here's the
problem I have. Here's the problem. Well, yeah, look, you ain't gonna get no sympathy. Yeah.
Honey, I was just trying to finish.
By the way,
I like I said, I'm sorry if I
hey,
was
Philly, by the way, man, that fucking jersey's dope. That's the one we're giving away
baby.
on the show here, man.
My
That
guy.
Jerome Brown jersey, man.
You know how I got into Jerome Brown? Actually, the Hurricanes. My cousin was a huge Miami Hurricanes fan back in the day. I didn't even watch college. So he wanted this guy, Jerome Brown. So he's like, come on, watch this guy. And I used to watch real young, watched all the football games. So I saw Big Sills back then with my cousin. He was a big Hurricane fan. I became a Hurricane fan because of him.
Well, let me throw this at you here too. Let me give you how Jerome Brown, real quick here. By the way, Jerome almost became a Cowboy too, just so you know, because they tried making a trade for him when a couple of years after the fact. Well, let me tell you how he did it. So we were down there together, and by the way, so you know, Philly, Buddy Ryan came down and coached me when he first year in 1986. He came down, and Jimmy and him used to be really great friends. They came down and coached Jerome and me and the defensive line. He did it for 2 years in a row. So Norman Brayman, who used to own the Eagles, came over, and he's still alive. He owns the biggest Cadillac dealership in the country. We knew his junior year. Brayman looked at him and said, if you're available, I'm going to draft you. We knew it. He was going to be an Eagle, and that's why he was hanging around, and that's why Buddy loved him. So when the Eagles had the 9th pick in 87, he knew right then, we all knew right then and there that it was a no-brainer. It was a year and removed that they wanted to put somebody next to Reggie White, and they wanted to put Jerome Brown next to him. So he was earmarked a whole year and a half in advance that he pretty much knew, unless something happened, he was going to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
I love it. That's awesome. Great player, man.
Billy, what team are you more concerned about? Couple last one here for both of you here. What team are you more concerned about heading down the stretch here? Because I got to tell you, you want to hear something too, Mark? The Philadelphia Eagles could be a 15-2 football team and be a wild card team. And here's how.
We can't be a wild card.
Not a wild card team. They can't not get home field. My bad.
Yeah.
Home field. Okay, they'd be still in the 2-hole. But what they would have is this, because if Minnesota wins out and Detroit wins out to the last game of the year, they're playing against one another, and that will dictate home field advantage. So the Eagles could be in the 2-hole. Obviously, they wouldn't get the bye and they wouldn't host home field. Of all those teams, Philly, Detroit, and Minnesota, I don't know Green Bay. I don't believe they can rally and catch them. They still play Minnesota yet, but I don't think they can catch unless Detroit fumbles again. What team worries you the most, Detroit or Minnesota?
If we have to play the NFC Championship game on the road, Detroit would scare me more, even though their defense is weak.
In the Dome.
I just think in the Dome, they've never held a championship game. I think it'd be one of those electric atmospheres for them. So, I still think we could beat both those teams. I think Minnesota has has an ability to collapse. And I don't buy their quarterback. I'm still not buying in. But I'll tell you this, Sills, if we get home field advantage, the team that would scare me the most is Green Bay, because they're built to play outside. These other teams are not built to play outside. So, to me, if we get home field somehow, I would say Green Bay. If not, Detroit.
What do you think, Mark? I mean, if all those teams, to give Philadelphia a challenge, what would be the team, Detroit, Minnesota, or Green Bay?
I will say, having been in Detroit for 12 Thanksgivings, because my wife worked for United Way and they always did the halftime show, those fans, if they were in an NFC Championship game in Detroit, that place would be crazy. And so I wouldn't want to be anybody playing against Detroit in Detroit. But I think you have a great point about Green Bay being a good team to play. Yeah. Being able to play in the cold if they have to go to Philadelphia. You just don't know. It's just who gets the hot hand in the end. And it's still way too far to tell. There's still 3 games left. You don't know who's going to get injured, and you don't know who's going to come back. So, yeah, I would say Detroit is where you would not want to play.
Here's the one thing, Philly, that you always have to remember. I mean, like you said, you're not buying Sam Darnold. I'm sure a lot of people weren't buying the Eagles in 17 when they lost Wentz either. and they weren't buying it when they lost Trey. I mean, not Trey, but the left tackle. They lost a linebacker. They lost another guard. You basically beat the Patriots with a backup team in 17. Yeah. And, I mean, so when you look at Darnold has had basically a Nick Foles season where Nick had a 3-game stretch. And I'm with you. How is that? I mean, I've barely seen him in the regular season. I just told Mark, I don't know what he's going to look like in the postseason. I have no idea what that guy's going to look like. But I'll tell you what, that Kevin O'Connell guy, man, he's done the Coach of the Year job with a backup quarterback. They've won 12 ball games. They're 12-2, and they got a shot at home field advantage. It's one whale of a job. I mean, and your point is right. If Detroit gets home field, you got to go to the Dome. Think of this, Mark. How many Dome teams can you name that have won Super Bowls? The Colts, the Saints, and who else?
Good point.
Colts and the Saints and the Rams, the St. Louis Rams.
The Rams. I tell you what, I would really worry about. You know, as much as you guys talk about how much the Cowboys choke in playoffs,
they do.
One of those guys that was calling plays for the Cowboys when they were choking is calling plays for you guys.
Yeah, but the problem is we know better than to blame him. We know that the blame should be right where it should be with that quarterback, because the quarterback did the same thing when you took Kellen Moore out of the equation. What did Dak Prescott go and do? Goes out, back to pass, pick 6. There you go, blow it open. Green Bay goes into Dallas. Dallas becomes the first, second seed ever to lose to a 7 seed. So they lose as Dak Prescott has won as a 1, lost as a 1 seed, lost as a 2nd seed, probably lost as a 3rd seed. The guys are you just got all I want Mark to do is accept that Dak Prescott is still not shown he can win a big game. That's all I want him to say, and I'll back up. I'll back off.
You know how this season could really be salvaged for me is to see you guys in the playoffs, the game on the line, and Kellen Moore calls a boneheaded play.
Mark, let me ask you this last one, and then I'll throw it to Philly for his last question. Let me ask you this. If the Eagles end up 15-2, they have home field advantage. And in the last 3 years, there would have been a 14-3 team, and they would have had 2 potential Super Bowl rosters. Mm-hmm. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, will this be the biggest disappointment in Philadelphia Eagle history if a 15-2 team – Remember? Do you remember that Vikings team that went 15-1?
Oh, yes.
That went 15-1 and got beat in the playoffs in the NFC title game by Atlanta. The Culpepper team, I think it was.
You got to put yourself up there.
Culpepper or Randall, I forget. It was one of those guys that was the quarterback of that team. Would this be the biggest meltdown in their franchise history if they don't win the Super Bowl?
I've already gone. The way the Eagle trolls are hitting me and all that, if you don't only win and it's not a blowout, I'm sorry, it's a disappointment.
Not a blowout.
I'm serious. The amount man. You guys, 2 weeks ago, you guys were talking about the Super Bowl.
I just want you to win it. Philly, I just want you to win it. Dude, I'll take you to win it. He wants you to blow him out.
Dude, I'll take. Them kneeling down and fumbling on us getting the ball. I just want to win by 1 point. This guy's talking about blowouts. Yet Dak Prescott gets off the hook. See what I'm saying, Sills? Could you imagine if Mark Holmes held Dak Prescott to the same standard as my Philadelphia Eagles?
You know, he does have a point there, dude. You want to blow? Hey, dude, I'd take a Super Bowl win 51-50.
I would too.
I mean, you want them to, dude. You're just right now. You're in misery, man, and I feel for you.
I got an owner talking about eating squirrel brains, bro. Squirrel brains.
Well, shit. You're out there in Davy Crockett. You live in Davy Crockett's house now in Virginia, don't you, or some shit like that? You're out back.
I'm not eating squirrel brains, though. Bro.
Hey, Philly, isn't that right? He's got like rabbit traps and he's eating squirrel hunts back there or some shit, right?
I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know what those people do.
You know? Those people.
So, Philly, you win this weekend, right, against the Commanders?
Yeah.
Blow them out?
I think tough game till the fourth quarter.
Give me a feeling. 30 to 30, 20?
27-17.
27-17.
I see it like a 2017 game, early fourth quarter. Eagles wear them down to win.
Philly, and I'll ask you before I ask Mark, what do you think the Bucs do on Sunday to the Cowboys? You know, Mayfield just won the NFC Player of the Week.
Where's it at? In Tampa?
It's in Tampa. No way, is it?
No, it's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
I hope Dallas wins. I hope they win. I want Dallas to win.
Why?
I don't want because one, I want them to get a worse pick, and then I want Mark to think that he has some chance to make the playoffs. I want, you know, there was nothing beautiful as watching the way they lost that game a couple weeks ago. You know, just like the way they choked that is like I need Mark happy. Like I streamed the game. I got Mark on. He's just miserable. He's miserable. I need him happy, and I need him doing his 50 videos a day on the Cowboys are going to the playoffs, and they got a chance.
Playoffs? Don't talk
me
about
a chance.
playoffs.
And then all of a sudden, when it matters the most, they're gonna collapse. And you know, I want the setup. So I hope Dallas wins.
God.
Philly, just to give you an update, Jalen Hurts addressed the Jay Glazer and said this. Jalen Hurts said the report that Brandon Graham and Dom came to his house earlier this season to encourage him to connect better with his team isn't true. Brandon Graham also refused to report on Instagram, just so you know. Hurts came out and said that it's not true.
It's every week. You know, I mean,
it's you against the world, Philly.
It really
Welcome
is.
to the Cowboys.
Oh, see, I don't accept that. I do not accept that.
I don't accept exactly. No, you're getting the Cowboys treatment.
Mark, you really think the first 4 years?
You should embrace it because that means you're becoming hated like the Dallas Cowboys. That you're relevant in the news. Okay,
we went through all of it years ago. We've already been there, done that.
Yeah,
but I don't think you guys. I don't think you guys can talk because you don't go anywhere. You guys don't do anything in the playoffs.
Oh shit!
But for some reason,
like we're legit.
I can't.
Well, that's because you got this guy eating squirrels. You know what I mean? Squirrel brains. That's why I say I don't know what that guy does.
Wait a minute,
I said earlier,
Mark,
I don't know what he does in the woods.
Before I get you out of here, you're not fucking throwing back at Philly. Well, we're a $10 billion team.
Yes.
That's not your retort.
Here's the problem. That is the problem with the Cowboys. No, listen. Think about it for a second. The Dallas Cowboys literally screwed the pooch to the point where you could have gotten tickets for a Snickers bar. And yet, they're still worth more money than they were last year and more money than everybody else and haven't done shit in over 30 years.
Mark, what's the dinner plate and the food plate going to be for Sunday against the Bucs?
I don't know, man. You know, I have literally I just show up for the games now. There's no football parties. I just sit here at the red brick house, you know, by myself, prepared to cry.
I like the red brick house, by the way. So, you know, I like them old retros, man. I like that stuff. Hey, by the way, do you think the Commanders give them a game Sunday?
Well, here's the problem for us as Cowboy fans is if you win, it keeps our playoff hopes alive, as slim as they are. If you lose, then our playoff hopes are dead. That's
Mark's
the conundrum
the Eagles.
No, I'm going to root for
you have to.
I don't have to. Listen, at this point,
you know you want. Wouldn't you want to play the Eagles in the playoffs?
Aren't going anywhere. I'm not going to go. If we
wouldn't you want to make the playoffs?
No, I just want to see you lose, man. Okay,
that ain't happening this year, buddy.
The season has gone to. I am a fan of anybody playing the Eagles.
That ain't happening this year, my man.
I hate your team.
We got one of the better teams I've ever. We got one of the better Eagles teams I've ever seen.
That's why I need to see them lose. So I can say
we can win this thing.
Philly,
we can win it.
Philly, let me sneak one in on you here. If you had to take the roster that you wanted to win a Super Bowl with, would you take the 17 roster, the 22 roster, or this roster? I'm not going to do the 04 one. Wait. Let's do the 04 one because you had Brian Dawkins, Westbrook. You had the best quarterback in the franchise's history in McNabb. You had Owens on that 04 team. You had John Runyon on that team. You had Trey Thomas on that team. You had Lito Shepherd on that team, that 04 team. So let's not do the 81, but let's do the 2004, the 2017, the 22, and the 2024 roster. What roster would you want to try to win a Super Bowl with?
See, I'll probably, it's just crazy, but I'm probably going to say I would put 2004 over 2017 and 2022 because I think they ran into the makings of the beginning of a dynasty, right? If they don't play a dynasty, but I think I would take this roster. I think from like just a most complete roster, I think this team is maybe the most complete I've seen in a long time. Now, defensively, they're really good, and I think they're better than 2017. But they're not. There's no way. They're nothing close to 91. It's not even close.
See, I look at the 24 roster, and I don't think you're better defensively than you are the 22 roster. Because here's why: you had 70 sacks. You were deeper. You're deeper at the tackle position. You don't have a Hassan Reddick. Believe it or not, you're probably better at linebacker. And you got to remember about your secondary. You were second in pass defense, and both guys made the Pro Bowl. Bradbury, and that's how Bradbury got that 3-year contract. And Slade made the All-Pro team. And Marcus Epps had 100 tackles. And by the way, let's not forget something else. Gardner Johnson led the NFL in interceptions that year. Yeah. So, I mean, that defense was a little bit more deeper to me than what you're seeing here, and you're not as good at the edge.
But the thing about this defense compared to that defense, and I don't disagree with you in some of those things. I think the secondary is better now. I like the nickel corner better than what we had then. I like the linebackers a lot better. And what I see with this team is they shut teams down. Yeah. I don't remember that team really shutting people down. I mean, Brady the Kansas City beat us offensively. I mean, I don't remember the defense winning games for us. Like, I feel like this defense has just completely shut people down. Teams don't score 20 points on this team.
Mark, isn't it great to talk about good football teams? Oh, I mean, a good football team.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, tell the folks where they can find you 30 for 30.
Come here, I'm all right. I'm okay.
Drunk in the gutter right now. Oh,
this season. I'm ready to get this. Shit. Look at that, man.
This kitten's all worried what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the name of the kitten there?
This kitten, we call it John McClane. This is John McClane from Die Hard. Jumps all over the place. Christmas. Call it McClane. These are Christmas kitties. So
that's a beautiful looking. I have 3 kitties.
Do you?
Yeah.
My wife, she keeps letting them breed, so we'll keep having all these kittens.
We got everybody's a rescue. We got 3 rescue kittens and we got a rescue puppy. So I don't like telling people that because people usually think I eat animals and all that other shit. And all
like Jerry Jones. Who
Who
knows what that guy does?
Or I'm like Mark, I go out back and I shoot gophers and squirrels and shit. And then I have honey out of the trees, like he goes to Vermont and shit and walks people across the street out.
The New Jersey fishing, those just aren't the same kittens. My cat pumps them out, man.
Hey, have a happy game against the Buccaneers. Don't get killed too bad.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with me today. And I'm sorry I yelled at you, Mark.
Thank you so much. You guys are so wonderful, and I appreciate all your help, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Peace.
You got it. That is Philly 500 and his kitten and the legendary Mark Holmes. I give Mark a lot of love, man. I got to tell you. I'll tell you what. He's a great content guy. He's giving me the one gun salute. He does a great job with his channel. Please make sure you check it out, man. All the great folks over there too with BetUS. We so appreciate it. By the way, speaking of Mark and BetUS and Philly 500 and BetUS, make sure you check out the website on all 3 of our places here. And we've teamed up here also with JAKIB with our YouTube 150. So I just want you guys to know that too as well, that you get a sign-up bonus all the way up to $2K. You got to sit there and go on the website. You'll understand what I'm talking about. And your second and third are going to be sign-up bonuses of 125% all the way up to 2K. And if you're into crypto, make sure you end up going and putting that 200% down up to your 2K. And your sign-up bonus, go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. That's betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
We got high drama going on now. Big Sills is fueling it too. By the way, I got to throw this out to you. Hey, James Jones, are you in here? By the way, please, guys, hit the like button. Give me a total on that like button. Guys have been great. Hey, Xander, I may have missed some super chats during the soiree between Mark Holmes and our friend Philly 500, so we'll get to that. I'm gonna start reading the supers here in a minute, but I have to throw this out to Eagle fans. Washington Commander running back Brian Robinson on facing the Eagles. We feel we're a better team. Hey, Brian, I might want to pump the brakes on that one. Even I, the massive shit talker that I am, I may not have went out there on a limb like that and said that one. Okay? I mean, bro, hey, It's one thing for me to talk shit. It's another thing for the guy. Washington Commanders running back Brian Robinson on facing the Eagles. I got to make sure I'm reading this right. Okay? We feel we're a better team. Really? Oh, shit. Dude, why? Why? All right. Delegate James, hey, confirm win. Jerome Brown was like Moses Malone for Julius Erving for Reggie White, and I'm 23 saying that. I'll give you a little bit of the relationship between Jerome and Reggie. I think Reggie always wanted to have the outgoing personality that Jerome Brown had, but was not able to express himself. He was more reserved, Reggie. Great guy, both of them. One of them was one of my closest friends. But Reggie was too afraid. And I think he brought more of Reggie out of him. But Jerome was always like that. I mean, I knew Jerome when he was 19 years old. We were both 19 years old. And I knew him all the way up until the last day of his life. And we talked every month, especially when we were in the league together. But Jerome, to me, I'll make you a comparison. Philadelphia. Yeah, Reggie was more mature. I'm going to make a comparison. Jerome Brown was the football version in Philadelphia of Charles Barkley. He had a personality like Charles Barkley. If I would compare him to somebody, it would be Barkley. And I think Jerome would be enormous on TV today because of his personality. He is a wonderful. He was a really big time shit talking guy, exceptional talent, and frustrating talent. Like the Jalen Carter comparisons. I think Carter is showing a little more consistency early in his career than what Jerome did early. This is what you would do with Jerome. And I've told some of you this. You know, I would sit there and go, I mean, guys, there wasn't a year that I didn't outplay him statistically week to week. But you would do, and by the way, do I think I was better? No way. And by the way, I was a great college football player. Ed Orgeron calls me one of the greatest defensive tackles of all time. I've posted it, and he's recruited some of the greatest defensive tackles of all time. I'm not saying that. He called me that. And so did Jimmy. Jimmy puts me in the category of some of the greatest players he's ever coached. But Jerome, no way. And I don't really think there was a lot of better college football players than me. However, this is the problem that you have. Okay? Here's the problem you have with him. You would put your head down and go. And Jerome would sit next to me and go just like this. He go, what's the matter? I go, you motherfucker, man. How can you play like that? How can you play like that? Okay? How can you play like that? Because, I mean, and he goes, what do you mean? I go, 20 tackles, sack, fumble, recovery, breaks legs, takes games over, throws dudes on their heads. You sit there and you just go, I could never do that. And I see a little bit of that with Carter. All right, so let me finish these supers here. Jerome Brown was like Moses Malone for Julius Erving for Reggie White, and I'm 23 saying that. Absolutely. The Vikings defense is scary, and I love their coordinator. I hope Brian Flores gets another opportunity to become a head football coach again because I think he's a whale of a coach. Abbott Costello meets the Grinch. You're a mean one, Big Sills. Go ahead. Thanks, Dave. Please read this to Mark. Dak once had Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Smith, a Hall of Fame offensive line with the media in the most talented roster every year. I don't think that they were really, Jay, that talented on defense. When Mike Nolan had that team, the Browns went for 300 yards rushing in Dallas against them. And I never thought, prior to even getting Parsons, that they were very good defensively in talent. I thought they were really top-heavy on the offensive side of the football. I thought that was going to be the Eagles' issues this year, is that they spent no money. Okay? I mean, Deshae says that Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami. Why wouldn't he? He's never going to win a Super Bowl there. He sees that now. By the way, he chased a bag of money, but no one's going to sign him. That's a contender. Buffalo's not signing him. Kansas City won't sign him. The Eagles don't need him. 49ers aren't going to sign him. Okay? The Miami Dolphins are not going to win a Super Bowl. They're just not. Okay? Josh Allen and Tyreek Hill. Oh, by the way, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Josh Allen. Just to keep it fair here. Oh, and by the way, guess who beats out Jalen Hurts for the NFC Offensive Player of the Week? Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he played so good against the Pittsburgh Steelers that Baker Mayfield's named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. That just shows you what the media thinks of Hurts. Wait, he beat the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. How could he not be? They beat the Chargers. Jalen Hurts. He beat Mike Tomlin. Come on, Sills. I know. Baker Mayfield's the NFC. How many times is that for Baker? Jalen Hurts gets beat out once again by Baker Mayfield. Holy cow. It's too good. This is too good. I got to keep an eye on this story going on, man. This thing's going to blow up because let me tell you something. Jay Glazer's not going to go down lightly on this. He is not. Real Xander, how could you have a guy like the Grinch that stole my Eagles? How could you have him on your network? I can't believe it. What a bunch of wusses. I got people on my Twitter page crying right now. You big Sills is a meanie. Let's see, Josh Allen, man. Man, Josh Allen. Holy cow here. Let me see this here. Yeah, let me get the votes on how much he beat Jalen Hurts by. Jalen Hurts has another full practice despite his little finger injury. Dude, Mike Evans, man, he's going to have another 1,000-yard season. I never in a million years thought that this guy, he's got 749 with 3 to go. He's going to have 10 years in a row. Only Jerry Rice has done that. That's insane. Dude, Mike Evans is a great football player. I can't believe it. Okay? They're all tagging me. Oh, Ben Sills is such a meanie. You're a weenie. Okay, let's see this. This is fabulous. Sileo spreading a narrative. It's not my story. Jay Glazer, I posted the video. Jay said it. I didn't say it. Yeah? I 1,000% back my friend. I still do. Never came to my home. Oh, my God. How about the Eagles, man? All disputing the story. If it's a nothing story, why don't you just blow it off? Why don't you just blow it off? Now you're making it one. Bob Lang not doing his gig again. I got to love it. I just got to love it here, man. This is so much fun. All right. Nicky Sirianni. He spoke. In 4 years, Jalen will have quadruple Dax and Sills' playoff wins. Well, yeah, I hope so. He's 2-3. How you doing? then get a better GM. Mark, stop crying. That's a good take. General, J.D. Talking bad about the Eagles gets clipped. Holy shit. General, I've been talking shit since I was 16 years old in high school. And go look it up. You think I started talking shit because I'm talking to you to get clicks from you? You're out of your freaking tree. I've been a shit talker for 40 years. Talking about you get quick. It's good for business. Dude, you know what's good for business? The Eagles. And you know what you are, General? A narrow-minded guy who doesn't understand how I've done this for 40 years. Chuck. What are you, John McMullen? Yeah, that's what I do. This will piss off. This will make the little Jalenites. I don't do that. I don't care. That's why I give you fair and balanced coverage, unlike a lot of others. And I don't jump off the cliff when I see one 60-minute football game. What? Okay. What are you talking about, General? What are you saying that? I mean, what? General, the Eagles, and I'll say it one more time to you, my friend. The Eagles are a great roster with a C-plus quarterback. I have never deviated off that in 4 years. I have been consistent with that. Have I not? Johnny Mack don't catch strays. Bill Sills catches them. You've been Sileo-wise or some shit, they say. Yes, sir, baby. Sileo-wise. I've lost one of my kids, though, Xander. Don't worry, he'll be back. Hey, Xander will come back. Don't worry. There'll be a stretch or something will happen. No, come back. Hey, all the stray kittens come back. They do. They all come back. Don't worry about it. Yeah, they all end up coming back to Big Sills. It's all good. Don't worry about it. C-plus is wild. He is a C-plus student. Hey, they could have done it. So let me get this right. I want to ask you one more time. Jeffrey Lurie is being told this. Well, Jalen Hurts could have done this all year long. You know, even though you paid the guy $35 million a year and the other guy $25 million a year, he could have done it all year long. He just didn't. He refused not to. They could have did it all year long, but they didn't want balance. They wanted to have one of the sorriest passing offenses for about 10 weeks because we're winning. Okay. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you check out our friends at BetUS. The YouTube 150, my friends. That's right. 150% sign-up bonus up to $2K. Your number 2 and number 3 sign-up bonuses are 125% up to $2K. 200% in crypto if you're into that, by the way. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. Live wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Thank you guys for coming aboard. I really appreciate it. This week in football with Pat is going to be right around the corner. Next year, the NFC East will have Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Cowboys' future in trouble, Sills. Hey, man, I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you for the super chat. Stay tuned for Pat. Big Z, Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow. Hit that like button. We'll see you on the flip side.